Yo, what's up, Adam?
Yo, what's up, Peter?
Man, it's finally fall.
Dude, it's about time. I'm so over summertime at this point. It's been hot and humid. I'm done with that. I don't want to think about summertime. I don't want to play anything about summertime.
What do you love about fall so much, though?
I mean, what's not to love? I love the falling leaves. I love a nice sweater. I love sipping on a delicious PSL.
Well, what the is that?
A pumpkin spice latte.
Oh, yeah. I don't like that.
Oh, but Peter, speaking about seasons, I've been thinking, what if we played our favorite song for each season?
I like it, but can we do it kind of fast, up-tempo, because we got a podcast to get to?
I got you.
Okay. That's fall. Falling autumn leaves. We're in winter now. Spring, wow. The calendar is really moving. All right, hold up. We're back to summer already. We got to slow it down. Come on, man. It's summertime. The living is easy.
Just when I thought I was out, pulls me back in.
I'm Peter Martin.
And you're listening to the You'll Hear It podcast.
Music Explored.
Explored, brought to you today by Open Studio. Go to openstudiojazz.com for your jazz lesson needs.
Yes, sir.
I went for it, Peter.
You went for it, you landed it.
Sometimes I go big, sometimes I go small. I went big.
You went big.
Yeah.
It's all good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
Good. Man, this has been a really fun season.
We're on a bit of a run.
Don't jinx it, buddy.
No, this will not be the end of the run. Hopefully this is the beginning of a new, even better run.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's such a beautiful reminder to me. Newsflash, there's a lot of great music in the world. This much we know. But I mean, to be able to have, it's such an honor and a pleasure to be able to consume something like we're doing this week, something like we've been doing every week. We've been hitting some bangers. This is probably gonna be a little bit on the lesser known, not Nina Simone.
Yeah.
Probably more on the big stars that we've had, especially kind of multi-generational now. But in terms of records, this is a little bit less on the radar. But to me, it's so exciting to know about, just the ones that I know about, that we know about. But think of all of the hidden gems and stuff that are out there.
This is going to be an endless journey. And by the way, I just want to thank everybody who's putting comments on YouTube, comments on Spotify.
God, I can't keep up with them.
With a lot of recommendations for some really good albums. We got, just in the last week, we had someone recommend that self-titled Jaco Pastorius album. We got to do that
CBS.
one. We had someone recommend something from Bud Powell, which we got to get to at a certain point. We had someone recommend Concert by the Sea from Errol Garner, which I think we might have done early days or a version of it, but we should revisit it because it's endlessly
not in the pod
reusable.
atrium. Can we call this the pod atrium?
The Patreon. But we also had someone
recommend.
It's
not for our Patreon.
No, we had someone recommend maybe doing some Prince, which stay tuned for some Prince.
That's on the list, isn't it?
It's on the list. It's coming,
list, of course.
So we have a lot of great stuff coming up. But please put some more recommendations in the comments because we want to hear from you what you want to hear us hear.
That's right. And we want to get hip to stuff out here. We're trying to be hip, right?
Well, you are.
Yeah. But today we have none other than Nina Simone at Town Hall. Live. I always say this is live at Town Hall, but it's actually at Town Hall.
Simone at Town Hall, Nina Simone at Town Hall. And every time I Google this, I put live at Town Hall or
and
I
it
search
corrects you.
And well, it
says,
still
did
comes
you
up.
mean?
Yeah. But man, what a great album. This is a great choice.
Yeah.
A little different from us. It's from 1959. It's a year we hardly ever talk about.
That's the big connector for us, I think.
It's a little bit off the beaten path.
Is 1959 or 1971 more in our wheelhouse? I mean, either one.
It's either those 2 years. And we're kind of leaning a little bit towards 79, 80 lately too. So we have our favorite years. There are clusters, Peter. I don't know if you noticed this. There are clusters in music.
I know. It comes in waves.
63, 59, 69, 71, 72.
Well, now you're just naming great years. Come on, man.
75. There's some good years out there.
Yeah.
A lot of good years, Peter. A lot of good years.
Okay, boomer. All right. Before she was Nina Simone, Eunice Wayman dreamed of becoming America's first black classical concert pianist.
Can we pause just a little bit on just how great of a name Eunice Wayman is?
I know.
Eunice Wayman.
I mean, Nina Simone is possibly a little bit better, but it's
Nina Simone. It's evocative of romance and sparkle, but Eunice Wayman,
I know,
rolls off the tongue.
Eunice, from childhood, she was trained in Bach and Chopin, among others. She devoted her life to that pursuit. She really loved, classical music, seemingly since she was first introduced, which is at a very young age. And then, there's a lot of lore about this. She got dreams, interestingly enough, to go to the Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia at a certain point.
Yeah.
As opposed to Juilliard. Well, she ended up going to Juilliard.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, if people don't know what the Curtis Institute is, why don't we tell them what that is?
It's like kind of if Juilliard is the Harvard, then Curtis is like... It's like what's the place Harry Potter one? It's like
Hogwarts.
It's the Hogwarts.
It's hidden.
It's like hidden, and it's at a high level.
Well, they have like a handful of students every year.
It used to be they'd only have one or two for each instrument. I think was accepted,
and some people go when they're children.
Yes,
like you go when you're very young. One of our dear friends, Aaron Schreiber from the St. Louis Symphony, went to Curtis when she was
and Michael too, violist Michael.
Michael Casimir, violist there, went to Curtis as well. Yeah. And it is very, very concentrated. It is for only the top players in the world, apparently, and it's an incredible resource. And it was Nina's dream.
Yeah, it was her dream to go there, even to the point her family moved to Philadelphia in anticipation of her being accepted. She was famously rejected, did not get accepted in, and there's a whole story and controversy about that. But the idea is, she did end up going to Juilliard, but then pretty soon thereafter, she was working kind of against the wishes of her family. She came up in a real religious family. Mm-hmm. Her mother, in fact, was I believe, a Methodist preacher. And so she was in church a lot. She was very well versed in the Southern Methodist church tradition out of North Carolina in terms of the repertoire, playing piano in the church from a very young age, singing a lot. But she always really fashioned herself originally as a pianist, and specifically classical. She definitely had exposure to jazz, but that was not her dream coming up,
And she's not the only musician that we've talked about on this pod, or a musician that even hosts the pod, that went for a year or two to Juilliard and then became a jazz musician, right? Yeah. Miles Davis went to Juilliard and became, of course, Miles Davis. Yep. And our own Peter Martin spent, year two, three?
Yeah, three semesters.
At Juilliard when you yourself was but a child.
Yes.
And then ended up being a jazz musician.
Of course, it's Nina Simone, it's Miles Davis, it's Peter Martin. We know this, right? No.
Buddy, you're going to see in the comments, you're not too far off. Wynton Marsalis.
He spent a year.
And this is, by the way, before
Christian McBride. I'm just remembering.
This is before all of you. This is before there was a Juilliard jazz program. You're not up there learning bebop. You're up there playing classical music.
Right, for sure. So this record, she had a couple records out right before this, and actually had a really big hit. We're going to check that out in just a second. But basically, I mean, she even said, she didn't like this idea of being a jazz singer. So this is interesting. We're going to talk about, is she a jazz singer, and is this a jazz record?
It's really a great topic of conversation.
Okay. Yeah, I thought you were about to commit in advance.
No,
I like it.
No. I mean, it's up for discussion. First of all, I love a category, and I love to put an artist in a box. It's one of my all-time favorite things to do.
A musical box.
But I think this is a discussion that we can have about, like you said, she herself didn't want to be this thing that people were categorizing her.
Right.
And she ended up making this whole career. Was she a jazz musician?
Right.
I don't know if that's an answerable question, honestly.
Well, she said, critics labeled her a jazz singer, which was a label that she despised. Yeah. She spoke out about that a lot. And she, in fact, said, to quote her, "Calling me a jazz singer was a way of ignoring my musical background because I didn't fit into white ideas of what a black performer should be. So like she was really ahead of her time. Like I think when we talk about now, it's like, why would you, like, it's hard for people, especially younger folks, including kind of like my age and below, to understand like the derogatory.
Yeah.
Like there was a duality to calling somebody a jazz singer. On the one hand, it was. I mean, you're in Town Hall. You're talking about Ella Fitzgerald was revered, had played in Carnegie Hall. I mean, like there was a certain status. It wasn't like jazz was just, you know, in the brothels or something like it was maybe 40 years before. But there was still a stigma attached to that. There was a pecking order of culture, I think, with the intelligentsia, perhaps.
If I may,
yes.
A little sidetrack. We talk about this amongst ourselves, about the mentality that a lot of quote-unquote jazz musicians have and how it can put you in a bit of a box that ignores some commercial advantages that you might have if you don't categorize yourself so narrowly.
Right.
And I just want to point out, this is a theme of this show over the years. How many greats, like on the Mount Rushmore of the music we have, that do not want to be labeled as jazz musicians. Talking about Miles Davis,
Duke Ellington,
John Coltrane, Charles Mingus, like all of these people don't
Nicholas
want
Payton.
Nicholas Payton. There's so many that do not want that word associated with their music that they're making.
Yep.
And I think that tells us a story about the feelings around the world. Now, obviously, there's the Modern Jazz Quartet, Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers. There are people who are embracing the sort of categorization of that. But what I love most about this album and Nina's career in general is I think ultimately she sort of manifests, for lack of a better word, the fact that she's not a jazz musician and becomes this huge, commercially successful, viable cultural icon that sort of like goes past where most jazz musicians are willing to go.
Right.
You know, and I think it's by freeing her mind from the box that people want to put her in that she's able to do this.
Yeah, and I mean, like later on, you know, with her writings and her political activism and her compositions and just the stands that she took up to the point of like leaving the U.S. and doing all these different things, she was so ahead of her time in terms of understanding this thing that she says about didn't fit into white ideas of what a black performer should be. And I don't want to dwell on that too much, and I know it's a harsh thing for some people.
Very relevant to the situation.
Very relevant. And like for us now to say like, oh, of course, like people didn't really, like there's a lot of implications that maybe don't apply, thankfully, as much today. But at that time, you know, some people could say like, what do you mean she's being presented as the headliner at Town Hall? But like she understood to be able to speak out and to have a nuanced understanding of that. And as you say, to being able in some ways to be able to leapfrog above even the box the jazz players or even classical players. There was definitely like, there was a bitterness perhaps that she had, or at least expressed, I'd see in interviews, for her not to be able to pursue this classical career that she loved so much. But she also turned it into like, she ultimately was able to put her full artistry out there into the world. At different times. And we're going to talk about it, but I think this is kind of just the beginning of that in a way, like the true artist of what Nina Simone was. I mean, you're already hearing it, beautiful voice, but she's doing a few of her own compositions on here, a lot of standards, kind of, she's in the box, but you can already hear what she can be. And then a couple of years later, of course, she's really becoming, you know, who she is.
Yeah, I think it's totally relevant. And by the way, this idea that she's supposing here of, you know, being put in a box by white critics or white writers about what a black musician could be is not even unique to black music. I mean, it's very, very common, especially at this time. And like you said, it's sort of bent a little bit better, even though there's still huge problems all around. But even like, you know, quote unquote bluegrass musicians talk about this. Like they're just playing music that they grew up around and they're trying to, some people would talk like this, like just play the music they want to play.
Yes.
And then we hear something, if you're not familiar with it and you want to categorize it, or you can even go, you know, like talking about like Japanese music, and I've heard musicians talk about like, I'm more than just this thing that you're trying to culturally define me by. I'm an artist trying to make art with my culture attached to it. It becomes, I think, more of an issue of art and commerce, where it's up to the record labels to try to sell these albums, and the best way to do that is to say, if you like this, check this out.
Right.
And the way they do that is very, very heavy-handed and can honestly be a little bit suffocating if you're thinking about yourselves in trying to like serve these you know, mechanisms of commerce with the art.
Absolutely.
It's tough, man. It's tough.
I mean, it's a little,
I get it, but it's tough.
Yeah, it's kind of like a high high culture, crass tastemaker kind of a thing where it's like, yes, this is great, but it's kind of like, yes, this is what you're going to consume.
Saying for us to understand you, Nina Simone, we have to lump you in with this other stuff that we understand what this is, right? Even though you're not going for that.
Right,
It's a very common thing.
Right. So what happened was she went to Juilliard, I guess, for a year, or maybe it was for a summer. She had been at Juilliard, and then she, on a scholarship, but she needed to make some money so she could go back when the Curtis thing disappointment happened. So she was teaching, she's living in Philadelphia, she's teaching piano, but she got a chance to play at a club in Atlantic City. Atlantic City at that time was a lot of like, piano bars and jazz clubs and that kind of thing, show clubs, whatever you want to call it. And that was going to pay a lot better and better than the teaching. And she got a gig playing at the Midtown Bar and Grill in Atlantic City. Ever been there?
No.
Neither.
Should we go?
But basically, she thought she was just going to, let's do it.
Live
make a
pod
field
from
trip.
the Midtown?
Yeah. I've been to Atlantic City. I don't think it's quite as booming as back then. It's changed a little bit.
Shout out Northern New Jersey.
Hard to get to, too. But the thing was, like, she thought she was just going to be playing piano, and the guy, typical club owner, is like, you got to sing, too. And so that's really when she started singing, and like outside of church and whatever limited stuff that she was doing, but very much a religious background. So it was like, that was part of the reason, if not the reason, she changed her name, was to disguise it from her family.
Man.
And because they were religious, like this was the devil's music, doing this kind of stuff. That's what it was considered at that time. So she was performing I Loves You Porgy, of course, from George and Ira Gershwin, Black is the Color, some of these songs, because they were popular songs of the time. And so when she ended up getting her first record contract and recording, I believe it was in 57 or 58, it actually didn't come out till 1959. When they did this concert earlier in the year. But she did I Loves You Porgy. It ends up being her biggest hit. And so we're just going to listen to that. This is not on this record, but this is what a lot of people had heard.
Like likely the people that came to the concert had
This was
heard
on Billboard. Like this was a top 100 hit, which is crazy.
It's awesome.
I love you, Porgy. Don't let him take me. Don't let him handle me and drive me mad. If you can keep me, I wanna stay with you forever, and I'll be glad.
So that's on Little Girl Blue that came out in 1958. But this song, as a single, came out in May of 1959. And it actually went to number 18 on the Billboard pop charts, number 2 on the R&B charts. Listen to this. This is just a straight up jazz trio. Her playing on this is beautiful.
If you can keep me.
It's a very straight yet nuanced reading of this, right?
I hear a little bit, because she's 25, right, when she makes this this recording.
Yeah.
And she sounds like, 35, like 40, like a fully formed adult. It's a little Samara Joy-ish in the sort of maturity in her voice. Not exactly the same quality, but like just where you're like, how can this person so young sound so, like she's lived so much life,
I just can't get over, how did this get on the Billboard pop charts? Can we go back to that time?
It was a different day, buddy. Different day altogether.
Yeah, so I totally hear that influence, and we're going to talk about later about all the vocalists, which could be every vocalist in some way since then in a lot of genres.
Very influential.
Maybe the most influential vocalist since this time, like blues, rock, pop,
musically, but also in the way
jazz.
that she handled her career and her adventurous spirit too.
Yeah.
These things.
But certainly an influence on Nina Simone was this, and this is live in 1957. This is Sarah Vaughan.
The greatest. When's the Sarah Vaughan pod, buddy?
It's coming.
Build a stairway to the stars.
So this was out there in the world, right?
And climb that stairway to the
That's live at Mr. Kelly's, Chicago, Illinois, of course. 1957.
I would
Sarah
love
Vaughan.
to play for Sarah Vaughan. Wouldn't it be so much fun to be Sarah Vaughan's piano player for a minute?
Yeah, it would be nice. But let's get in the record. So live at Town Hall, she's got some hits. She's out there. The promoter, they're putting her on the Town Hall stage, which was a big deal. This is crazy. So Ben Riley, fantastic drummer, one of my favorite. I actually got a chance to play with him back when he was still around in the '90s, which is great. Like such an honor, and like to be a little bit connected with that with Thelonious Monk. He famously played in one of the best groups with Monk for many years.
You're so old, dude.
I am old AF. Wilbur Ware on bass.
Wilbur Ware, amazing.
Chicago's finest. Played with Monks. Oh yeah, we were talking about Sonny Rollins, right?
We talked about Wilbur Ware last week in that Amon Tobin track.
Yes. And they were both, together and separately played with Monk. They were both playing with Monk at this time. The crazy thing about this, guess when they met Nina Simone? When they first played with her.
You mean to legitimately guess?
Yes.
I'll say because of the way you're phrasing
I'm talking about the rhythm section, bass and drummer.
Yeah, no, I got it. I would say
Wilbur
the way you're setting this up, probably earlier that day.
No, as the curtain rose. They did not rehearse. They literally, I sourced this at two different.
Talking about?
Hey, man.
Wait. What?
They met right before. Like that's how thrown together this thing was.
Oh,
which is really going to be
God.
crazy as we listen to this.
Have you ever done that before?
Yeah, but not when it came out sounding like this.
No, and then it's on our live record?
No, of course not. Like this was another time, man. So let's
For the love of Jeff.
Just thinking of that, let's jump right into the first track. Black is the color of my true love's hair, and I believe this song is like some kind of old.
Yeah, it's
Scottish or Norwegian.
Yeah. It's an old Northern European folk song.
And we have nothing on the how this came to Nina Simone or how she ended up doing it, but it's a beautiful way to start the record. You hear the classical chops from the beginning, right?
Well, her tone output
Yeah.
is ridiculously beautiful.
How do you feel about the recording quality of this?
I don't love it, to be honest. But there is a vibe to it, I guess.
Of my true love's hair, his face so soft and wondrous fair, the purest eyes and the strongest hands. I love the ground on where he stands. Black is the color of my true love's hair.
So this is an incredible track, beautiful. And I was just thinking one thing that Nina Simone brings, and we're going to get into some jazzier stuff. It's an interesting kind of different styles on this record. But one thing she really brings to the party that if she was a true, she is a true jazz singer, but she's not coming from, that's
not
just
according to her.
Right, exactly. That's not what she's coming from. That's one thing that she can do, among other things. But she has this ability that's harder for us as jazz pianists, especially, to just play the triad and then go down there and to really connect with this folk song, with the essence, very diatonic kind of way of playing. We would be, and she gets into a little bit of, the second time she kind of goes to a sus, which is nice, but she lays it out, whereas almost any other jazz pianist, we'd be all like,
It sounds like some Peter Martin shit right there.
Yeah, which I like. But she has so many different lenses with which she can look at this music. So she can start with the very simple voice. The control with the vibrato and stuff is stunning.
You actually hear this all over the album. She treats it as if how a classical musician would would respect the harmony of it in a way that, you're right, I think jazz musicians would want to put their own spin on. But I think it's absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
That accompaniment there.
Yep.
Playing a chord and letting that beautiful piano ring out.
Yep.
And then singing those phrases in between. I think it's exactly what the song calls for. And I love the triads that she's doing there. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. And can I just say, like, what stands out from this album, because it's a live album, right?
Yeah.
And it's not as well recorded as what we just heard even on Little Girl Blue and what, of course, we're going to hear later on in her career with how good her voice is going to be recorded. But she is gifted with a couple of instruments. Like, her hands are her classical technique that she has, her piano technique, I think is really special.
Oh, yeah.
And we don't hear it a lot in jazz pianists, honestly.
Right.
Like, the way that she produces a tone, we just had a classical pianist in here yesterday, so I'm thinking about it a lot. We had Daniel Anastasio in here and made some stuff with him, and he was talking a lot about that tradition of creating tone on the keyboard. And you could just hear the sort of like, she's a really sophisticated keyboardist in that, like, her control over those triads, even when she's doing something simple, is so great.
It almost comes out more on the really simple stuff.
It does.
It does. Like, that's when you can really appreciate the high level of technical skill.
The voicing, not the chord she's playing, but how she's voicing the notes in there.
The touch.
And then the second instrument that she was gifted with, and I don't mean this as like she didn't work for these things, but I'm saying, like, these are the kind of, like, they are natural gifts that she has. Is like, the quality of her voice is so unique. Like, she doesn't sound like
a contralto. Did you know that?
Well, but she doesn't sound like a trained opera singer at all.
No.
And she also kind of doesn't sound like Sarah Vaughan.
Right.
She sounds like,
you hear those influences.
you hear the influence of both of those things.
Yeah.
But her voice is her from the start.
Yes.
From right here when she's 25, 26 years old. Like, it sounds so her. And
so honest.
Different and honest and vulnerable and confident.
Yeah.
And it's really special. From the opening notes of this album, you just feel like she is like some other vocalists that we've heard in the show recently. I'm thinking of, like, Erykah Badu we talked about, but, like, she sets a vibe with this that is more than just a music nerd's paradise. It is a human connection. It's very special.
Yeah, and I think maybe not having that baggage of, I mean, certainly she'd heard Ella Fitzgerald, I'm sure, and Sarah Vaughan to a certain degree. But
everybody had.
Yeah, but I mean, like, in her religious family, if they're like, that's the devil's music, you're probably not listen to it a lot, you know? So she wasn't growing up with that, like, I'm trying to be that. I'm trying to imitate them or whatever. Perhaps I'm projecting. I mean, I'm doing a little improv now, a little philosophical improv. But perhaps she was able to get the essence of who she was quicker than others because of that.
And by the way, the selection, too, Black is the Color of My True Love's Hair, is a really sophisticated choice to open this album with. I'm not sure if she opened the show with it, but probably. But it means something different when she sings it than when a Scottish or Norwegian person sings it. Do you know what I mean? Like, this means...
How could a Norwegian sing? Don't they all have blonde hair?
That's... You can't say that anymore. But no, you know what I mean? Like, that's a really...
Beautiful blonde
like, she's
hair.
already commenting on something. She already has something to say, which is very, very promising for the rest of her career, as we will later find out.
Yeah. Okay, let's go on to track number 2. For something entirely different.
Okay.
The diversity of like styles, even though this is all piano trio with vocals, it's the jazz trio with the vocal singer, but there's such a diversity of styles and grooves. We've already heard that from the first track to this. This is one of the more kind of like swinging or straighter ones. I always love this tune, exactly like
Jimmy
you.
McHugh.
Jimmy McHugh, killing it.
R.I.P. Shout out.
Yeah, 1930. I think the first big kind of hit or people hearing this, especially in the jazz style, was Louis Armstrong.
Yeah.
But everybody recorded this, so let's check this out. And we're going to get... Oh, let me start this again just because that first chord, maybe it was fading in. I love the way... This is some exciting stuff.
And should we be keeping in mind, too, that Wilbur Ware and Ben Reilly have no idea what's about to happen?
No. So that's why there's a lot of these like intros are kind of extended and stuff because they didn't rehearse. They didn't have...
She's teaching them the song.
She's teaching. It's like, this is the vibe. This is the groove. And there's some funny little things that happen, man. They go along like pros with it. It's so good. That almost sounds like inside the piano, perhaps.
It does sound a little bit like
And she's tapping.
She's giving them the tempo.
Yeah.
They don't know what's about to happen.
But this is definitely one of those kind of standards you could just call it. Good players are going to know it.
Woo. Pentatonic.
Yeah. Man, her swing feel is definitely there.
Her feel is legit great.
Yeah.
She's telling Ben Reilly what she wants. I had no idea that was the case.
I know why I waited.
Ooh.
Know why
man.
I've been blue.
It helps to have the swing and rhythm section.
Exactly.
I've been waiting each day for someone exactly like you. Why should
Oscar
I
Peterson.
spend some money on a show or two
That's a little Sarah thing going up there.
when
Or Ella,
nobody
maybe.
sings those love songs exactly like you? You make me feel so grand. I wanna give this world to you. You make me.
That's kind of Duke Ellington-esque. Little,
There's some Count Basie and Duke Ellington
Yeah.
in this as well, for sure.
I'm dreaming and schemes I'm scheming. Now I know why my mama, she taught me to be true. She knew just around the corner was somebody like you.
It's a gutsy move to go into double time right at the top.
So clean with it, though. She's so clean with it.
She's doing a lot of A-flat pentatonic and then block chords.
You make me feel so grand. I wanna give this world to you.
Those block chords were swinging.
Yeah.
Baby, you make me understand these foolish little dreams I'm dreaming, schemes I'm scheming. Now I know where my mama, she
And they are
taught me
locked
to
in.
be
So
Damn.
locked in.
And like her comping,
Just
it almost
around
seems like
the
she's constantly
corner.
playing. But every time she comes in, she's like right
she
in there.
knew just
And then
around the corner. There
vocally,
was
she's dialed in, but she's
somebody
flirting too.
exactly like you.
They didn't know what was gonna happen.
Hanging out in the A flat to E flat.
That's some on the gig arranging right there.
Pretty, and that run at the end too.
Yeah.
You know, I actually love this album
Is that
because,
swinging like a gate?
oh my god,
Like a well-oiled WD-40?
I'm gonna say it. I think this is definitely her most like swinging album that
Right.
she has. Right, where like later she's gonna get into a lot more orchestration and arrangements, and even like on the poppier side of things, or the pop jazz, whatever you want to call it, mid-century pop side of things.
Yeah.
But this is like a trio. It's swinging. You know, the solo, I hear, like you said, Duke Ellington. I hear Count Basie.
Yep.
I hear a little Oscar Peterson.
Like the little melodies in between the vocal. Yeah.
I hear some Errol Garner.
Yes.
I don't hear a lot of Bud Powell or a lot
No.
of Bird. Like I don't hear a lot of bebop interplaying. There's
No.
a lot of pentatonic. Like
There's
you
way
said.
more blues than there is bebop,
There's
for sure.
pentatonics. There's blues. There's the block chords. There's pure melody.
Maybe a
there's
little
stuff like-
Pentecostal too. We don't
Maybe
know.
a little pentatonic, Pentecostal. But I don't hear that like sort of Wynton Kelly version of this too,
Right.
right? Where there's like some bebop lines happening underneath that, which is cool. Like it's actually really works. Again, very unique voice on the piano as an improviser as well as a vocalist.
Right. This is interesting. I'm just seeing in our notes here that she was just saying jazz was just part of what she was, but she identified more as a folk singer.
That's awesome.
Which is an interesting thing. Duke Ellington talked about that, being, folk music around the world being the kind of a unifying thing as opposed to a stylistic box, Okay. So let's see. What are we going on to now? Oh, number 3, The Other Woman. So this is the first. There was 3 tracks on here that they went back and recorded in the studio the next month. This record was. This concert was on September 12th, 1959, and then it came out in December. Why can't we have records come out that quick anymore?
Came out
that was
December 1959? So pretty much 1960.
Well, no, it was
like Giant Steps came out in 1959. This came out in 1960. No?
Well, no, it's close. But this one actually did come out in 1959.
Just trying to rehash that
I like
a
it when you
little
lean into your errors. That's one way to do it.
Well.
But they went back in and recorded. And I couldn't get the story in my research exactly why, but it feels like there was.
Can I take a guess why they went and re-recorded stuff?
They
Because they
messed
just
up.
made as the rhythm. They just met as the
I think
curtain
there
was
but then there was some
rising.
allusions to that maybe a different rhythm section on here. We're gonna listen, but I couldn't actually hear it. It's a different recording. It's in the studio. There's 3 of these tracks that were redone, which is not uncommon on live records,
No,
at least for
totally,
part.
yeah.
But this is the other one. We're not gonna listen. I want to get through actually every track, which is unusual for it. So we're gonna jump around a little bit. You can hear the piano's different.
The other woman finds time to manicure her nails. The other woman.
There, I heard some of that Sarah. I don't know.
Perfect where her rival fails.
It's definitely there. It's definitely there.
Oh, and this was recorded by Sarah Vaughan and Eartha Kitt.
With pin curls in her hair. The other woman enchants her clothes with
This is a beautiful ballad here. But I was saying, I hear a little bit of that. We're just going to listen to that Sarah again.
Build
That vibrato.
a stairway to the stars
You know, that
and climb
nuanced usage of it.
that stairway to the stars.
That's a little bit. I don't know. Maybe they just both got to that same part.
With love
And then also,
beside
like
us.
that's the influence on to Nina Simone. The influence coming off. This is Betty Carter in 1960. So a year later, very young Betty Carter, teenage, I believe.
Up in the sky, stormy weather.
So
Since my
Betty's voice higher, and this was kind of before she was Betty Bebop became her nickname, and definitely more, not timid. Her voice is amazing, but like you can tell the influences. So I think, well, I know because I remember she used to talk about Nina Simone was definitely an influence on her being a little bit younger.
By the way, I love the genre of the song "The Other Woman," which is like it's a list song. Right?
Yeah.
Like she's listing
It's a listicle.
things, but it's a comparative mind list song. Like you're comparing yourself. It's a little bit like in the tradition that Dolly Parton's Jolene would be in. You know what I mean? It's a little bit like there's, what's the Sinatra one? That's a very similar vibe. Anyway, I love that genre of, first of all, I love list song genres. If I Were a Bell is a great list song. There's so many.
Yeah.
But then like the psychological reversed comparing, anyway.
Right. Mama Said Knock You Out by LL Cool J. That's a list song. I'm going to knock you out. And then you go through all the reasons why he's going to knock you out. Anyway, different show.
What are you, a musicologist? Amazing.
Here's Under the
Amazing
Rose.
commentary.
This is one of the only, I think there's 2 instrumentals on here. This is a blues.
Why you're award-winning, Pete.
We hope. Original by Nina Simone. And this would have been an easy one. Ooh. An easy one to rehearse, to not rehearse.
Well, that means she just called the blues.
Exactly.
What key is this in?
A.
Yeah.
Unusual key. This is kind of a classical musician's blues key, wouldn't you say? A.
You don't get a lot of blues called an A, at least on our gigs.
Yeah, a horn player's not going to call this.
No. I mean, a guitarist would.
Yeah.
Down in Soulard.
That's Duke Ellington right there. Influence, I should.
I think this is her best playing.
Man, her blues playing is so...
Come on, Ben Riley. What's up with Ben Riley's bass drum, man?
Oh, his bass. He drops the bomb like it's nothing.
Why can't we get that from more drummers
I know.
nowadays? That's great. It feels so good.
And I feel like Nina Simone, her blues playing is so great because she's not encumbered. The reason I'm saying Duke Ellington is not to be reductive and be like, oh, that's just Duke Ellington. No, I mean, and maybe it's almost like they're not encumbered by that bebop pull. You know what I mean? It's like straight, like diatonic blues, like very, very melodic. It's not using any harmonic tricks outside of what's built into the blues, right?
Yeah.
Woo! It's like, she said it too. It's storytelling, you know what I
She
mean?
says that a lot on this album.
does.
Have you noticed?
Yeah. Man, she went in this bad boy confident.
I'm telling you, her confidence is what makes her so appealing.
Which is crazy because she's 24, 25 years old.
Yeah.
And she's headlining. Guess who opened up for her at this concert?
You want me to legitimately guess?
No.
Okay.
Horace Silver
Bill Haley?
and J.J. Johnson. Both with their bands.
Horace Silver and J.J. Johnson's
opened.
bands.
Yeah. She was the headliner
Wow.
at this, her first time
I wonder
at
how
Town
they
Hall.
felt about that.
Well, I mean, you know, they've
been around for a minute.
They're a talent, yeah. So, I mean, but she came in, wow, just killing it. Okay, So that was the blues original Under the Lowest. Oh, so this is Irving Berlin's You Can Have Him. This is fun here. Woo!
To be in a harp here.
Yeah. Tell him what to do.
She just called them in on this. Yeah, you're right.
I don't want him. You can have him. He's not worth fighting for.
Ooh, that's a Betty Carter. Definitely got that from her.
Besides, there's plenty more where he came from.
We got to talk about Shirley Horns, the influence of Nina on Shirley, too.
Yeah.
I don't want him. You can have him. I'm giving him the sack. And he can go right back.
Yeah, it's like she's got the Broadway thing, too. It's a Broadway song. This is from
I'm afraid
Miss
I
Liberty.
never
Try it.
loved
Yeah.
him. Sweetie, he'd be better off with you.
This is the verse, right? Yeah.
I could never make him happy.
Wilbur Ware's like
Figuring it out, Wilbur.
He's like, I don't know the verse on this.
Ever wanted to do was run my fingers through his curly locks, mend his
More of a rhythmic
underwear
device than anything.
and don his socks.
Yeah, it's like so much. Yeah.
No, I was just going to say, real quick. So what we were talking about before about like the sophistication of her using triads is something you don't hear a lot of jazz pianists do when they accompany.
Yeah.
Which is like when she hit that, like when they walk that down, we're in the key of E here. Most jazz pianists on this one would play maybe something like this at the least.
Right.
By like an E.
6/9 kind of.
6/9
Yeah.
thing, right? But she straight up went like
Da 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 da.
an
Da,
E
da,
major
da, da.
triad,
Yeah.
right? Which if you're like a rock or pop musician, you're like, yeah.
That's called a chord.
That's called a chord, but we are kind of,
We're fancy.
we are fancy and we like these
We're
kinds of
sophisticated. We're
things.
sophisticated.
But it really works for her, man.
Yeah.
And like, that's what I'm saying with just like her
Because
being
it's
her.
like that adds a lot of color and nuance to the sort of vertical thing that's happening.
Well,
but like her voice is
yeah.
able to add that when she just does that.
Also, man, it's a dang tonic chord. Like it's a
It
one
is what it
chord.
is.
I'm going to the E. You know what I mean? No,
That's
it's
right.
really, really powerful. And
That's the thing. I was just saying, like she's like she has the drama and understanding of the lyric and melody like a Broadway singer.
Yeah.
But then she brings like the jazz flair and the blues inflection. But she considers herself a folk singer. So.
This is, by the way, I did not know this fact that Wilbur Ware and Ben Riley were introduced to Nina as the curtain was rising. And I'm hearing everything now totally different. Like her calling them in.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, she's just arranging on the spot, essentially.
Stick with me, buddy. You'll learn some things, okay?
But I've learned so much already.
Summertime, track number 6.
Never heard of it.
Oh, a little foreshadowing there.
Humming along.
Ooh,
So good.
Wilbur. The way they played that line. Can I take that back?
Back it up.
Sorry. And the fact they didn't know what was going to happen. Ooh. Muy buen. She's playing really quiet now. Because remember how soft the drums were before in the mix?
What a beautiful sound she gets, too.
Yeah.
It's just such a great piano sound. Wilbur Ware.
Woo. They're literally arranging it on the spot. Collective arrangement.
And And this would have been a song that they all knew. Really,
Yeah.
that every jazz musician knows.
So the way
And most
this-
classical musicians know. Really.
Right. So the way this was on the original record was split up into like instrumental, but it's and then vocal version. Sorry, I fast forward a little bit.
Great call.
And the living so easy.
That's such a great device.
She's singing the counter melody and playing the real melody up top.
And the cotton is high. Oh, you're
And offsetting it as she goes. I think I'm gonna have to change my.
And your body's good looking.
Are you changing yours? I was going
Yeah,
to change mine.
my apex moment. No, yours. I mean, there's a bunch of them. It's like two zones. Yeah, so I mean, all this stuff is great. We'll talk about the apex and maybe even come back to it again because.
Cool.
But that's such a that'll probably be the subtlest apex moment I've ever done. But it's so genius.
Well,
what she does there, and like when you listen to this whole track, and I encourage you guys, don't just take what we're doing for copyright reasons. We can't play the whole track, right? But the thing is, it's such a like. This is exactly what great art is. Like, it's so beautiful and simple, and you guys will probably hear that, and you're like, why are you guys over-explaining it? That's just for fun. But, like, the sophistication, it's just like one little way of, it's like taking salt and chocolate. Whoever figured that out at first, genius, because it works. It shouldn't work, but it does. I eat it every night, I can tell you.
You know, it's an American thing.
Is that an American thing?
You give some sweet and salty to a European,
they don't want that.
they're going to kick you out of their country.
But this is like that way of playing the melody up there. It's so simple but sophisticated at the same time. I love it.
Yeah, what she's doing here in the key of D is, normally you would sing what the melody is, which would be like, summertime and the living is easy. But what she sings is just the tonic, right?
Yeah.
In the summertime. And she holds it.
While she plays the melody up high. Yeah.
It's such a great orchestration technique
It
is
is.
what she's doing.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And then Ben Reilly and Wilbur Ware are like adding their parts. They're coming up with this spontaneous arrangement that just sounds right. And they'd be like, after you do that, you'd be like, oh, we should never rehearse.
You know what I think?
We don't need to rehearse.
Peter?
And there's like that degree of like unexpected that you don't get if you over rehearse.
I think this young woman has a future in
She
the
has a
biz.
future.
She's got a future in this business.
Well, you know what? This will be a good time for us to jump forward a little bit. Speaking of a future, here's but 6 years later.
Birds flying high.
Oh,
Nina
yeah.
Simone.
Sun in the
1965.
sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day. It's a new life for me. Woo, woo, woo. And I'm feeling good.
Damn.
Such a great track. Such a great start.
Ridiculously great.
Yeah, so there was a whole evolution there, and you might say, okay, this is more indicative. The voice is the same, but there's like another, like it's so recognizable, but there's like an even more enhanced sort of maturity, the way to this very simplistic kind of like pentatonic based melody, and then of course it goes
so many qualities
there.
too that we hear in like a lot of well-known modern artists, like whether that's like you can hear it in Amy Winehouse. You can even I was just hearing like a little Tracy Chapman.
Yep.
From
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely.
Little Fiona Apple, like
Ooh,
a lot
yeah.
of people.
Yeah.
Nina influenced.
Yeah, for sure. All right, here's track 7. We got 10 tracks to get through. Cotton Eye Joe. This is an old 19th century American folk song.
Where do you come from? And where do you go? Where come from, my cotton-eyed Joe.
You crying at him?
No, I got some moisturizer in my eyes.
Okay.
They should play this version at sporting events instead of the 90s dance version. That's like,
You think?
And I'm on a cotton-eyed road, I've been there a long
Yeah, this has
time
been
ago.
countrified, hasn't it?
I would love to hear this at the Cardinals game, honestly.
There you go. Now we're going to move. Actually, track 8, for some reason, I don't have. What was track 8?
Return Home.
I've got the LP here. We don't have that, but that's okay because we're running out of time anyway. We're going to start to we're going to get towards the end of here, but I want to jump into a few categories because this one I believe you have as, this is Wild as the Wind.
Yes, this is my Desert Island track.
This is your Desert Island track. Okay, so we're going to check this out.
It's a beautiful song.
It is.
Love me, say you do.
This is another one that was in the studio, not for the live version.
This is written by Dmitri Tiomkin and Ned Washington for the 1957 film Wild is the Wind.
For my love is like the wind, and wild as a wind.
So good.
Give me more than one caress.
I just really, I love the song itself. I love the lyrics, but I also love that it really leans on, like the ninth of the chord a lot. It leans on some really odd notes, and to hear again this amazing voice that she has, this unique soul that comes through in her singing, for her to lay on those notes that aren't folk song notes, right?
Right.
That is more of, I would say, like a jazz musician kind of like melody.
Right, melodic movement through the ballad.
It sounds like
more
Miles
jazz.
Davis.
Exactly.
Right? And I love her in that zone.
Yeah, and it was originally sung by Johnny Mathis, so I don't know exactly where the influences for this. This is Shirley Horn's original recording, but she definitely
Love me,
of the same song.
love me.
So 2 years later.
Say you do.
Similar vibes.
Yeah.
Let me fly away with you.
Beautiful song.
And then this is Shirley Horn, Here's to Life, jumping ahead to the early 90s. We've covered this one.
Love me, say you do.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that one always gets him. He loves this record,
I've got
man.
moisturizer in my eye, man.
You hadn't looked like you'd had a dry eye before. You didn't need to put moisturizer in. You're all good. Cool. All right, we got one more track, but let's get to some. Actually, no. Let's listen to a little bit of this, because this is not officially, because I switched my Apex moment.
Okay.
But this is This is Fine and Mellow, the classic Billie Holiday.
My man, he don't love me. He treats me oh so mean.
So Nina Simone had definitely heard Billie Holiday. I mean, you can tell from this.
Famously, there's that video, right?
Yes.
Of Billie Holiday singing this. I forget what the name of that
Like Ben
event was.
Webster
Yeah.
and Jerry Mulligan.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That was like early 50s, I think.
I think so.
Yeah.
That I've ever seen.
Man, she wrote this in 1939.
Billie Holiday did?
Yeah.
My baby wears high peg pants.
And like Nina
That's-
Simone's choice of when not to comp or to play on the piano is really cool and important.
Baby wears high peg pants.
Yeah.
Stripes are really yellow.
Stripes are really yellow.
When he starts in to love me, he's so fine and mellow.
Can I get you a wet nap or something for your
I
eye?
got
there,
SPF 30 in my eye, man.
Love will make you drink and gamble. Make you stay.
Is it a break or not a break? It doesn't matter. Ben Riley's going to keep going.
That's right. He just played right through it.
You didn't know.
Love will make you drink and
If you
gamble.
repeat
I mean,
it,
you guys-
then you make
meant
it
to
right.
do it. Yeah,
that's right.
That's so awesome, man. Like I said, I got to go listen to this and like hear all these things that are happening.
Love
It's
will make you do
crazy.
things
Yeah, but what a cool thing to have
man.
something that was that spontaneous to be preserved forever.
It's beautiful.
And not just preserved. It's not just like, oh, that's a fun thing, but it's like, no, this is a great record to listen to.
I mean, buddy, how many live shows have you been at where like people are just meeting each other for the first time and it's a great vibe? You're getting to know each other.
I've been at them, but that's like 1 out of 10, to be honest.
When they're good?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it feels good, but if you were to listen back to a lot of those, you'd be like, ugh. It wouldn't be as consistent as this, I would say.
That's okay.
Like, that's unusual.
I'll give you that. But occasionally, you do get some really good energy.
Of course, for
because
sure.
everybody's like, what's going to happen?
Yeah,
like
for
when the
sure.
musicians kind of don't know, there's like this excitement and danger in the air. It's great.
Yeah, and you guys might not realize when you hear this because there's such great performing, but there is I mean, Nina's probably the most confident on there in a way, but Wilbur Ware, I mean, because she's leading the thing, but they're like, you wouldn't know that they never played together.
Well, let's be honest here. Wilbur Ware and Ben Riley
they're good.
They're pros.
They are pros.
Like this isn't their first time they've accompanied someone without a rehearsal.
Are you saying it's not their first rodeo?
It's
my friend?
definitely not.
You were about to say
definitely.
I'll
not.
say
These
it.
are two masters. So
All right.
yeah.
We're getting to some categories here.
Let's do it.
Desert Island Tracks. You already said yours is Wild as the Wind. That's great. I mean, that one would be...
Correct.
I said exactly like you just because it's probably, in a way, the most sort of stylistically atypical on this. But, like, I don't know. Nina's is swinging so hard. Wilbur and Ben, of course. I mean, I don't know. It's just such a fun thing. I love that song. And I think it's probably... I could just listen to that every day on my Desert Island.
We'll allow it. We'll allow it.
Apex Moment.
So I have this portion of the Under the Lowest solo, right? Which was that blues.
Yeah.
Starting at about 1:30, Peter, if you don't mind.
Here we go.
She gets into this repeated note.
Huh. Yeah.
It sounds very modern.
Yeah.
Like, is that Brad Mehldau?
Right. And shout out to Ben Riley for not going crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the at the end, it's all just like
that's such a great. That's
cherry
a great
on
one,
top.
man.
That's my favorite.
I think the mini Apex moments on here are so understated. That's the fun part about it, you know. And so the summertime, as you explained, the two zones for me, that is the when she's playing the melody
and
up top
singing
and singing
the tonic
the counter melody.
And then eventually she sings like the fifth when it goes to the 5 chord.
Yeah, but she's still like storytelling with both of them. It's like she's telling two different stories.
It's fucking amazing.
You know. It's really fun. Bespoke playlist. What you got?
Wait,
you know what? We have a lot of new listeners and viewers. Did you know that?
Did you just ask me a question and interrupt me?
Yes, I did.
Okay, go ahead.
No, I just want you to. Can you let people know what we're talking about? We assume everyone knows what we mean by bespoke playlist.
Okay, that's actually a great call. So bespoke playlist.
Did you just question me and then come back and dap me up right after that?
No.
Okay.
Bespoke playlist is imagine a playlist that was created by a Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube user where they put their favorite things into a playlist and they give it a stupid name, which people love to do. And so we thought, well, we can do this with this album. If this album were to appear in one of those bespoke playlists, what would be the stupid name we would give it?
I'm glad I had you explain it. I never knew there was a stupid angle to it.
I mean, everything we do has a little bit of a stupid angle to it, Peter. But for this one, I have From Conservatory to the Club. Not my best work, but
you've
it
got
works.
it. Both C's are capitalized. I like that. I've got it. I'm calling this Quartet of Three. Okay, which is both stupid and crafty at the same time. Well, because it's a trio.
Quartet of Three.
But there's 4 instruments playing.
This sounds like
I confused him. Look at him. He's doing the math now. He's like,
it sounds like a Max Jazz album.
Quartet of Three. A Max Jazz album.
A Max Jazz album. Quibble Bits. Should we explain Quibble Bits too?
Yes.
Should we explain the show?
Are we over-explaining? I think that one's self-explanatory.
Okay. You got any Quibble Bits?
Just, I think there's a little bit of inconsistency as you would have for the sound and the vibe, and possibly even the rhythm section. We don't know, between the 3 studio redos. Although you can tell they mixed it in a way to try to make it sound like you almost wouldn't know.
Did they add tape hiss to the studio?
There's a lot of reverb, probably more than there's a town hall reverb.
Sam, can you add some tape hiss to the show, please?
So to me, that gives it a little bit of an inconsistent vibe. And the order seems like it doesn't feel like this is the way it was presented, which is fine. You can change. But I love live albums when it's like from beginning to end. I have no quibble bits with any of the tracks. I think they're all, and it's probably put together in the best way, but this is not, the sequencing and the vibe inconsistency is a little bit off for me.
Yeah, mine is very similar. The sound is noisy. That tape hiss.
Well, just come on and say it. The sound is noisy.
Sound is noisy, and
there's some hiss.
And that's it's actually a pretty small quibble bit because live albums, especially if it's a 50s live album, I'm not expecting it to sound like Kinda Blue. You know,
60, 59. We don't know.
Okay. We don't know.
Snobometer. Now this we really have to.
We
I
should
looked
not
at
even
yours.
talk about.
No. We have to explain it because on
we
a serious
don't have
note,
to. We can't explain it. There's no explanation for the Snobometer.
Well, but you're really getting aggressive here with your Snobometer is from 1 to 10, formerly the Snobometer. But
I'm tired of these weak ass 5s, Peter.
That's true. But explain why you're giving it a 1, because I see that big fat
I'm giving
1.
it a 1 because I think it's very, very not snobby. I think it's very, very available to your average listener who doesn't know anything about jazz.
Yeah, but this is okay. That doesn't make any sense.
Why?
Because this is probably like if you were to say, "What's your favorite?" If I were to ask you, "What's your favorite Nina Simone record?" and you said Nina Simone at Town Hall, you'd be like, you would be the snobbiest, jazziest guy wearing a blue blazer.
Okay, but you've reduced it down to the category of Nina Simone. If you were to say, "What's your favorite jazz album?" and I said Nina Simone live at Town Hall, you'd be like, "That's pretty commercial, don't you think?" You know what I mean?
I don't know. Well, maybe you're right. So that's why I put 2 or 9 because I wasn't sure which one of those. Look at that, I've got it there.
Maybe we should explain the category to you, Peter.
No, it's a 2 or 9 depending on which way we look at it. Let's move on. Average of 5. Is it better than Kinda Blue? Nope. Accoutrements. Okay, I'm going to give mine first, if that's okay.
Go ahead.
Because I'm very surprised by yours. I'm going with a 7, and that's really low for me in a way because, like, I'm not crazy about the picture of Nina Simone. Although it's like compositionally, it's interesting. You got these mics here. It's out of focus, but it's just not a great picture, I don't think. I mean, you can go look at it. But I love this design. Like, I love the combination, is really interesting. In the
so when you say this design, you mean the Nina that's at the top?
Yes,
that has
I like the
a
typography.
multicolored block typography.
It reminds me of zoom
part.
on PBS in the 70s.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I gave it a 2. And the only reason it gets a 2 and not a 1 is because of the block Nina.
Yeah, that's what got it a 7.
The photo is out of focus, and it's not a great composition of a photo.
No, I said that.
They don't even mention who's playing bass and drums on the album notes.
That I hate.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit, like, there's a couple paragraphs of a blurb from Don Ross and Howard Burke.
Yeah, they got the producer's name on there, not the musician.
But not the rhythm section.
Yeah.
It's also, if you look at this too, it's like, this is crooked. This, like, the notes are crooked on the back.
That might be the bootleg reprint.
Well,
we can't name that.
I'm just saying, like, I don't think it's great.
You're pissed.
I'm not pissed. I just think they could do better.
Oh, you said
she's such a striking looking person.
I know.
Put a picture of her amazing looking face on the cover of the album. You know what I mean?
I know. And if you're gonna have a picture from the concert, capture the trio playing together for the first time. That's a cool thing. Yeah. Okay. What do you have up next? So up next is like something that would pair with this. It doesn't have to be the same artist. It doesn't even have to be the same time. It'd be like you listen to this and then you listen to another record and it would be some sort of congeniality between them.
Yeah, I have Roberta Flack, Killing Me Softly. And I'll tell you why. We've done a whole episode on Roberta Flack and they have such a similar story. Like, I don't know if you remember, but Roberta Flack grew up playing classical music. She went to Howard University and studied Chopin. Yeah. You know, a lot like how Nina Simone wanted to play Bach and Chopin. And she eventually started playing at a club in the DC area. Yeah. And people discovered her for this sort of like folk singer-songwriter. Right. And this is going on after Nina Simone had already had a very successful career. So I think those two women making very different music, but from a very similar...
And First Take kind of her jazz record,
but
too,
not really a jazz record. And I don't think...
Maybe even less than this.
Less than that. I don't think Roberta Flack would consider herself a jazz musician at all. Right. But I do think that there's a lot of similarities there. And also, I think they would sound nice next to each other.
Absolutely. That's great. I've got Sarah Vaughan live at Mr. Kelly's. We listened to some of that.
Good,
the Stairway that's an incredible record.
Yeah, that's a great
It's from 2 years before this. It's two sides of a coin that are very different, but I think super complementary. So,
hey, Peter, I just want to remind our dear listeners here that we do have a newsletter that comes out every week called You'll Read It. You're going to get a nice email with some behind-the-scenes stories of the podcast and even some things that we've left out of the show. So in the description,
maybe some corrections. We need to start putting some corrections.
There's usually a lot of corrections.
1960s.
So you can check that out. There's a link in the show notes here where you can sign up for our newsletter and you can get a little message from the team here at You'll Hear It.
And then you get a whole bunch of spam from Open Studios.
No, you do not get a whole bunch of anything.
Useful stuff only.
Until next time.
You'll hear it.